Hi everyone, good evening. Short one today. No big news in the world, but I wanted to share a little something that I learned in the past year. It's about thinking, and this article in particular gave me some food for thought. So in Singapore, it's a famous food critic. He's been around for years and years. It's called KF Sito. And he's criticized the Singapore government for offering a stipend for the life's work of very old hawkers. See here, the food guru and founder of Makan Sutra was responding to the updated hawker succession scheme, where retiring hawkers will be given financial support while they coach new hawkers to take over their stalls. The new work-study program to ease the entry of young people into the hawker trade will be launched in March. It allows recent graduates from polytechnics and the Institute of Technical Education to go through a 4-month apprenticeship and 6-month mentorship with experienced hawkers, while the hawkers receive $500 monthly. So in his Facebook post, Mr. Sito questioned this remuneration. He says, call hawking an unheralded public service. He wrote that hawkers spend decades and even a lifetime fending for themselves, creating, perfecting, and delivering their dishes at affordable prices to eke out a living with no government support. He says, come on, these old masters and retiring hawkers deserve more. Just because they plan to call it day, don't make and throw some stipend into their retirement pots and hijack their life work. Wow, yes, he pulls no punches. He's going all out directly. And he's not the only one. So there is also a well-known opposition politician, Mr. Lim Tian, who asks, is hawkerpreneurship the best that the government can offer? So yeah, he is also going all out. He says, let's see. This program shows how bankrupt the PAP are when it comes to new ideas on how to create good-paying jobs for Singaporeans and the next generation. So our young are being encouraged to study hard and become hawkers? He made a reference to the fact that Singaporeans who occupy high positions in public office are among the highest paid in the world. Is this all our millionaire ministers can offer? He asked. I'm sorry, I feel a little bit bad for chuckling at this, but I'll tell you why. This is something I learned from Dilbert cartoonist Scott Adams. He calls this loser thing. I'm sorry to say, Mr. Lim Tian, I respect your sentiment, as well as Mr. Sito, who has, a great deal of empathy for hawkers. Whether you are, Singaporean or Malaysian or even Indonesian, you've seen hawkers, you know hawkers, and there are hawkers all around you in any of these countries. And this is a pretty new program because there is a problem in Singapore today where older hawkers have no way of passing on their business because their children, their grandchildren have no interest in being a hawker. It's hard work. It's hot. Hawker centers are hot. There's no air conditioning, and you're standing there, working for long hours for very little pay. I mean, you might argue that it's stable and steady if you're doing good business, but you have to do really put in the hours in order to get that compensation. So it's not glamorous work at all. And Mr. Sito and Mr. Lim Tian are correct in pointing this out. But where it's loser thing is that there is a plan, there is a proposal in place to resolve the problem of hawkers who retire and then there's no successor. There's also a problem of youth with no jobs because we're in the midst of the crisis of a generation and they have no jobs. They're going to be food delivery riders, maybe some or Grab, Grab or Gojek drivers. So those are not very attractive options. If you could give the youth an option to say, hey, maybe you can be a hawker. You know, you have your own business, it will belong to you, and so long as you work hard, all the rewards accrue to you. You don't have to pay anybody for the privilege of driving for them, right? So one might say, okay, looks for the youth at least, you know, it's a reasonably attractive proposition. And for the hawker, the elderly hawker, who didn't have someone to pass their business on to, now not only will their business continue, they get to pick and choose who it goes to, and they receive a stipend for it. So is this a perfect plan? No, it's not, because hey, maybe that hawker stall is worth a lot of money. Maybe the hawker stall has the old hawker's name attached to it, and it has this exceptional sentimental value for the elderly hawker. We can't tell because every situation is different. But to criticize, what is clearly the start of a plan, of a direction, that will lead to a better place. To criticize it for being not good enough is loser think, because when you start off solving any problem, you do not have a perfect solution. A perfect solution is not possible at the outset. You have to take an imperfect solution, perhaps iteratively improve it over time, maybe months, maybe years, and eventually, perhaps you will arrive at a place that the stakeholders, the people involved can say, no, it's not too bad. I can live with this. I'm reasonably happy with it. But this is absolutely, low quality criticism, because people are moving in the right direction. And if you punish people for going in the right direction, well, guess what? In the future, they won't move in that direction. You will not get policies and proposals that at least attempt to move in the right direction, because why bother? You're just going to get criticized. So sorry, Mr. Lim and Mr. Sito, I respect the sentiment and I agree with the sentiment, because I would love for the elderly hawkers to, in the sunset years, receive best possible return on their business, which they put their life into, and also for the youth, who are graduating, who are stepping into the world at the worst possible time in the century. I would hope that they can give each other something that is valuable, that would help them be in a better place than it would be otherwise. But we don't live in a world where we can give both parties a perfect solution from day one. And I think this is something that is pretty common, across the world. And now I hope that with this frame on things, you get a new perspective, the way to look at these things. That is, there are many problems in the world, and if we want to continually get better solutions and better ways to do things, we have to reward people for moving in the right direction instead of punishing them for not being perfect from day one, because that's just loser thing. Okay, thank you very much for watching. That's all I have to say for today. If you like the video, click the like button, subscribe if you want to see more of my videos when they're fresh out of the oven. Leave a comment if you have any questions, comments, complaints, anything at all. And I'll talk to you again next time. Bye-bye.